Hi guys, it's Alicia. Now today I thought I would take you on a little walk with me. We just got back from our cross-country trip, and Montana is one of the places that we went to visit family, and this walk is one of my favorite walks to go on while I am in Montana. Now I was also tagged in the Emily Norris tag, the mom tag, by Crystal Evans. So thank you, Crystal, for tagging me in that. If you are not familiar with Crystal's channel, she does all kinds of different stuff, from hauls to cleaning to recipes, taste tests, just all different types of things. And not only does she do a whole lot on her channel, but I just absolutely love her. She's got the sweetest personality. So if you are not familiar with her, definitely go check her out. I will have her channel linked down below. So I hope you enjoy the beautiful scenery of Montana as I jump in and answer these questions. The first question is favorite mom hack. Since I am such a foodie, I'm going to make this about food. I would say that one of my biggest hacks as a mom is when I'm cooking, I like to make extra of whatever it is so that I'm not cooking every single night. So if I make something and I make it a little larger than normal, we're gonna get more meals out of it. And we don't mind eating the same thing more than one night in a row or leftovers. So I like to do that. And I think that's especially important right after having a baby, to not only make extra, but also to make extra ahead of having the baby and have some freezer meals ready to go. So you're not having to worry about making dinner when you're trying to take care of a newborn. The next question is most embarrassing mom moment. Anybody that is a mom knows that you have a whole lot of these kind of moments when you have kids, especially at a certain age where they just kind of say whatever they think of. So I have a whole lot of them. The one that really sticks out in my head, though, is when I was potty training my son. We were actually driving cross country at the time, and he was using a public restroom in a gas station. And he did a number 2 and was extremely proud of himself and announced over and over and over how he went number 2. And he also went on to say how big it was. So even when he got out of the stall, there was a lady at the sink washing her hands, and he told her all about it too, just very, very proud of himself. And I don't know why. I mean, I really shouldn't care, but that was kind of embarrassing to me. But luckily, the lady just smiled and said, "Oh, that's great." So anyway, lots of moments like that, but that's the one that just pops out in my head. The next question is favorite part of the day. And I would have to say that even though I'm not a morning person, it is probably the morning time when it is just me and my youngest, and we're just kind of chilling, and I'm having some coffee. And it's just kind of a really relaxed part of the day. So that is probably my favorite. The next question is, what is the worst part of the day? And I would say that it is probably about 3 p.m. for me, because that is a point in the day where I just kind of start to hit a wall when it comes to energy. And I don't know why, that just seems to happen to me every day around 3 p.m. And so that is usually when I have more coffee. The next question is, what was the worst thing that was said to you when you were pregnant? Now, I can't really remember a lot of bad things being said to me when I was pregnant. In fact, I don't really remember any, except for someone that said, "Wow, you've gained a whole lot of weight." And that was pretty much it. So I guess I could have got worse than that. Next is baby name that you didn't agree on. I don't really think we had this happen. I just remember discussing both boy and girl names and kind of coming up with one of each that we both liked. And we came up with them pretty early on, and that was just kind of that. There wasn't a whole lot of discussion about baby names, really. The next question is, did you co-sleep? And that would be no for both of my children. No real reason other than I just didn't want to worry about having to transition them to their own rooms later. Next question is something you bought but never used. And the only thing that I could think of besides the diaper genie, which I've seen other people say, was the changing table. For my oldest, I had a changing table and I pretty much never used it. So with my youngest, I just put a changing pad on the top of his dresser and used that so that I didn't have to have a whole nother piece of furniture just for changing diapers that I was most likely not even going to use that much. Next is 3 hospital must-haves. Now, I could think of a whole lot of things that you need at the hospital, but the first ones that came to mind was, of course, your cell phone and a charger for it. And then if you're going to be nursing, you want to have nursing bras. And I have extremely dry lips, and when you are in labor, they only get drier. So definitely a lip balm is a must. Next is, are you more of a go with the flow mom or a routine mom? And what does bedtime look like? I would say that with my oldest, I was more of a go with the flow mom. But then 12 years later, when I had my youngest, I am definitely more of a routine mom. I don't know if that's just because I've changed, but, and then on to the next part with bedtime, I think that's actually why I became so routine with my youngest, is because he did not like to sleep for the longest time. And so I implemented a lot of different routines to try to just get him to recognize the cues for bedtime and all that kind of stuff, and to just try to make bedtime more easy, and hopefully then he would actually sleep. But he didn't end up sleeping through the night until he was almost a year old. So routines were definitely a must with him. Next is, what was labor like and what did you use for pain control? With my first, my labor was pretty long. It was well over 30 hours long. And I ended up having, and I think it was called an intrathecal. It wasn't an actual epidural. It was a little bit different than that. And I do believe they call it intrathecal. Anyway, that actually worked during the end of my labor, which is when I got it. But by the time pushing came along, it had wore off. So that was not fun. In my second labor, it was pretty short. It was only about maybe 5 hours long. And I didn't get an epidural until right before pushing. So I basically felt all of my labor and contraction, but I felt nothing at the time of pushing. So it was kind of, the two experiences were exact opposite of each other. The next is, have you ever been mom shamed? And I don't feel like I've ever been directly mom shamed. I don't know if things have been said behind my back, probably. But as far as to my face, not so much, beyond just kind of being told what I should be doing by a lot of different people. And, you know, that I was doing things wrong and I should do it this way. And while I appreciate and respect people's opinions on, you know, how to do certain things, sometimes you don't really want to hear it, especially if the person doesn't have kids themselves and they want to tell you how you should be doing this, that, or the other. Next is, biggest challenges you faced since becoming a mom. That's kind of a difficult one. There's a lot of challenges every single day. But I would say probably the biggest thing for me is just patience in general. I'm not a super patient person, and children will definitely try your patience, and you want to try to be as patient as you can with them, but sometimes it is just really difficult. So that's probably my biggest challenge, or I guess shortcoming, is just not having the patience a lot of time. Next is the best bit of advice you've ever been given, and the best advice that you would give to a new mom. And again, this is one it's kind of hard to answer because I've been given a whole lot of good advice through the years. But the thing that has always stuck out with me the most is the advice that we've probably all heard a million times before. And it's very generic, but to me, it really does hold a lot of weight. And it's basically that it will go by super fast. And to try and take it in and appreciate it and enjoy all the little moments as much as you can, because they're going to grow up fast. And that is just so absolutely true. I have a 17-year-old right now, and it seems like I just had her really not that long ago. And so the 17 years have just flown by. So my advice is kind of just an extension of the advice to, take it all in and appreciate it, because it's going to go by fast. And that would be to not only just appreciate the good times, but to look for the good or the silver lining in those tough times that you have in the different stages with your kids. Because there are multiple stages, and some of them are hard and some of them are not. But for the difficult ones, I always reminded myself, and this is another popular saying, that this too shall pass. That is so true, because you're going to go through phases and they're constantly going to be changing. And like I said, some will be good, some will be bad. And so when you're going through the bad, you just got to remind yourself that it's not going to last forever. And I had to do this a lot during the months of sleepless nights with my youngest, because there were times when he was getting up every single hour on the hour, and I thought I was going to lose my mind. So, and like I said, this went on, his sleeping was awful for a good, probably 10 and a half, 11 months. And so that was really hard to get through. But I would try to look at those times as, just extra snuggle time with him, basically. And, those are sweet, quiet moments that you get with your baby when you're up with them at night. So I tried to look at that and take that in as time that was valuable and something that I wouldn't have later on. The final question is, who is your mom crush and who do you tag? As far as mom crush, I would not say that I actually have a specific mom crush. And if we're talking about people on YouTube, there are so many great moms on here, and they're all unique and have their own different things about them that make them great. So I can't just name like one specific person. So I'm not going to. As far as who I tag, first off, I have to tag Tiffany from Blessed Bears. And she is just absolutely amazing to me as a mom. She has 8 children. She homeschools them. I don't know how in the world she has the patience to do all that she does, but she just amazes me, and I really, really respect her as a mom. So I definitely want to tag her. The next person I want to tag is Lede from Love Always Lede, and she is just another one that absolutely amazes me. I think I've told her before that she is like super mom. She gets up so early every day, and she's got 4 kids, and she just gets so much done, and I really admire her. And then finally, I am going to tag Stacy from You, Me, and Alfie. And she's just another great mom. And she's got a little boy that I think is around 19 months old. So since this tag is a lot about the early days, she definitely would be a good one to answer some of these questions. And like I said, she just seems like a really great mom too. Now, anyone else that wants to do this can absolutely do it. It is an open tag, so feel free. But I will link down below the 3 people that I am tagging. And like I said, I will also link down below Crystal's channel, who is the one who tagged me. So thanks again, Crystal. And that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.